How you guys doing today? And today I have a very, very special device. And you probably heard of it. And the question is this a powerhouse? All right, so you see this camera here. What I'd like to show you today is, and if you go back to my channel, you might see that I did a unboxing and a first impression of the Vivo X200 Pro, which rocked a MediaTek Dimensity 9400. Spec-wise, probably wasn't the most spec'd phone of the year. Camera-wise, for me, color science, bar none, best camera system until possibly now. And what I have today is this, the Vivo X200 Ultra. Now you see some Chinese writing on here. This is a Chinese only device. So I'm gonna preface this by saying, if this is gonna be, if you only have one phone line, one main phone, and you wanna use this, there's gonna be some caveats to that. Yes, it's gonna have Google services. Yes, it's gonna have some things, but some things just aren't gonna work, and there's gonna be some weird Chinese software probably on it. So just preference that. Also, make sure your carrier will support this. Usually Google Fi, T-Mobile, Mint will usually support these. Maybe not always 5G, maybe only 4G LTE. Wi-Fi calling could be hit or miss. AT&T and Verizon are a little bit more difficult to use with, but your mileage may vary. So this was launched on April 21st, 2025. It has quickly garnered attention, particularly for its formidable camera system and high-end specs. It's positioned as a flagship device. It also aims to impress photography enthusiasts and power users alike. So a big difference from this one is this rocks a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset paired with either 12, 16 gigs of LPDDR5X Ultra RAM and offering 256, 512, or a massive 1 terabyte of UFS 4.1. And looking on the back of this, this is a, well, I can't read. Here you go. 16 gig, 512. So this is a 16 gig, 512 gigabyte version. So again, the Pro was a fantastic device. When I had it, I used Google Fi, and some things were hit or miss, like when you call a customer care service and it has press 1 for this, press 2 for this. I'd press it and nothing would happen. I'd reset my phone. It would work on the first call, but never work again. Stuff like that kind of, and that was a global release version of the phone. It was a UK version, and it still had some weird issues. This, having a Snapdragon 8, I'm hoping does better on Google Fi, which is what I use. We'll see how that works out. But like I said, Snapdragon 8 Elite, which brings in a whole bunch of power. Not much more than 9400 from Dimensity, but a more widely used, more software-friendly chip. It's got a 6.82-inch Samsung LTPO AMOLED display at 2K, which is a step up from the original, which was only like 1080 plus. It's got 120 hertz refresh rate, quad curved screen, Dolby Vision, all that stuff. It incorporates 3D ultrasonic fingerprint reader in the screen. But what's interesting is everyone's doing ultra phones, at least camera specific. Vivo, Oppo, Nubia's releasing one next week. Samsung's got the S25 Ultra. They've had it for a while, but these new Ultra phones coming from these Chinese brands introduce like camera kits. Now this, I don't have the camera kit with this, but the camera kit on this one includes a grip like the Xiaomi does, the 15 Ultra. Also a huge, like, kind of like a, you know, a lens kit for it, but it's somewhere between, if you want the camera kit without the lens, it's $200. With the lens, it's $400, and its use cases are very specific. So I didn't think I really needed that. I just appreciate Vivo's color science so well. I'm hoping these cameras blow my mind. By saying that though, what do we have? It's got a quad rear camera setup highlighted by a groundbreaking 200 megapixel Zeiss APO telephoto lens with a range of 15 to 85 millimeters. It's got a 50 megapixel LYT 818 main sensor and a 50 megapixel LYT 818 wide, ultra wide camera, which is fantastic because The ultra wide and the main use the same sensor, and it should be a fantastic ultra wide. Notably, all three sensors are capable of 4K recording at 120 frames per second, along with 4K 60 log support. You know, it's just something. Now, this has already been opened. The company I bought it from does pre-install Google services for you, so unfortunately it's not sealed when it comes in. But we'll put the phone off to the side here. Besides that, you have all the other stuff like I said, we talked about the optional photography kit, a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, I mean 90 watt wired fast charging, and 40 watt wireless. I think that might be off. I don't know if that my information here is correct. It might be a little higher than that, but either way, super fast wired and wireless charging, IP68 and IP69. Some of these companies are doing this now too. It also features underwater camera feature and a stereo dual speaker. So what does the Ultra come with? Now, as you can see, it comes with a case, kind of a flexible TPU case, but I like the case. And as you can see from the color, you may be able to guess what color I have got with this. They come in silver, black, and red. And like I said, these run approximately anywhere between $900 to a little over $1,000 for the maxed out version, which in the scheme of things, compared to an Apple device, it's in the ballpark, and it should have, if better, if not the best camera system. You got your SIM ejection tool, your USB A to C, and then a charging brick included. And like I said, no one else is doing that. So like I said, this is a phone that's made for the Chinese market. So hopefully most things I use it for, it'll work. I'm not planning on using this as my main phone, and I'm just kind of hoping that my SIM works in this. Maybe before I exit the video, I'll put Google Fi SIM card in there just to see if it works, and then you can have verification. So this is the phone itself. There is a pre-installed screen protector and the curved screens all around. You got Type C, SIM eject or SIM tool or a SIM ejection tool, your SIM tray, and bottom speaker. You've got a dedicated photo button, kind of like a la the iPhone 16. So I believe you can kind of scroll back and forth. There's no, it's tactile, so there's no like actual push on it. You got power, volume on the top, more either speaker grill and or microphones. And then this is the color. Look at that. Oh my God, that color is freaking amazing. I'm geeking out a little bit. Huge Vivo fan, and the camera bump is a lot bigger than on the Pro, even though they use almost the exact same sensors. I think there was a tweak with the ultra wide being the same as the main. I think there's some slight lens changes to change apertures, but pretty much the same exact system. But if you like these companies processing, you're gonna like this phone. But there you go, it's the Vivo. Look at that color, you guys. So it's what it is. I'm gonna power on, see if it's got any juice. I'm sure it does if they were trying to install Google Play services on this. Oh, look at that, it needs to be charged. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge it up, go get my SIM, and I'm gonna see if we can get Google Fi services to work on this phone. Catch you back in a second. All right, guys, so I'm back, and this is the phone. So I have my Google Fi SIM in there, and it's testing Fi service, but I've already worked on it. It gets 5G, and I'm in a basement. It does make phone calls, and it should send and receive text messages. I don't have Google messages installed yet to check out RCS, but I'll get that later. But I do know it makes phone calls. I do get 5G, and data works and all that. As you can also see, I'm already getting an update. There's already a huge update, fixed occasional issues with apps crash, all kinds of stuff, pretty large, about half a gig, you know. So hopefully that'll be something we can look at. And then when you go to your settings and you go to, let's see, what's about phone, you can see here, Vivo X200, it's the Snapdragon Elite, 1616, 512. And then we are, let's see if we can figure out, when we're on Android 15 down there. So this is the Origin OS 5. So this is like their Chinese version. So there's gonna be some fiddling around you have to do, like right off the bat. I'm used to having an app tray, so I had to go in the settings and set that up. It doesn't do that. This is very Apple-esque, but still, everything seems to work. If you're interested in this, I will leave a description link in the description below where I purchased this phone from. And what I will tell you is if you order it from this company, it does come from China. But if you do the express DHL serving here in the US, you should get it with anywhere between 4 to 7 days, depending on where you live in the US. I can't 100% tell you to get this phone because, like I said, I haven't really played with the cameras. I can't tell you if the cameras are the best in the world, but if you have any experience with the X100 Pro, X200 Pro, X100 Ultra, I'm sure this will be pretty good along the same lines, if not better. I'm a huge fan of Vivo's processing, so I'm excited for it. But this is Jason with Tuna Tech, and this has been a quick unboxing of a first look of the Vivo X200 Ultra. We'll catch you next time. Peace.